Let me tell you something. Most people don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because they listen to too much noise. Noise from the world, noise from social media, noise from people who've never done what you're trying to do. And worse, noise from that little voice inside that says, you can't. You see, the enemy of greatness isn't failure. It's distraction. You can recover from failure, but distraction will drain your destiny in silence. Most people never reach their full potential because they can't separate what's important from what's merely loud. Everywhere you turn, there's noise. People talking, opinions flying, information flooding your mind until you can't tell what's real anymore. The noise isn't just around you, it's within you. The loudest distractions are not coming from the outside world. They're echoing in your own thoughts. You wake up, and before you've even spoken to yourself with purpose, the world has already spoken to you with pressure. You check your phone, scroll through everyone else's highlight reel, and before breakfast, your focus has already been stolen. The truth is, you can't rise above what you're surrounded by if you don't rise above what you've allowed inside your mind. Focus doesn't start with doing more. It starts with knowing why you're doing anything at all. People confuse movement with meaning. They think staying busy means they're being productive, but business without direction is just another form of distraction. You can run fast in the wrong direction and still end up lost. Focus begins with purpose. Purpose is what turns activity into achievement. Without purpose, your effort becomes noise too. You can't focus on what matters until you decide what actually matters. You can't make every opinion count. You can't chase every trend, and you can't please every person. Every distraction looks like an opportunity when you don't know your assignment. That's why people jump from one idea to another, one job to another, one dream to another, never finishing anything. They think they're looking for clarity, but they're really avoiding commitment. Distraction is a thief dressed in opportunity's clothing. It doesn't steal your potential all at once. It drains it in small, subtle ways, a few minutes here, a few moments there, until one day you wake up wondering where your time went. You can't expect destiny to meet you halfway when distraction keeps pulling you backward. And in this generation, the biggest lie is that more information will fix your life. It won't. You don't need more O2. You already know what to do. You just haven't done it long enough, consistently enough, or intentionally enough. It's not about knowing, it's about being. You don't need another podcast, another quote, another motivational clip. You need focus. You need to act on the truth you already know. Intention is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's easy to get motivated for a moment. It's powerful to stay intentional for a lifetime. Peace is one of the rarest commodities today, yet it's the foundation of focus. You can't build a clear vision in a chaotic mind. You have to protect your peace like it's your profit, because in a way it is. If your peace is gone, your creativity is gone, your discernment is gone, your productivity is gone. You can't operate in purpose while living in panic. Sometimes you have to step away from people who keep you confused, conversations that drain you, and commitments that no longer serve where you're going. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it's strategic. If it costs you your peace, it's too expensive to keep. Clarity only shows up when you commit completely. Half-hearted effort brings half-formed results. You can't be part-time with your purpose and expect full-time rewards. The universe doesn't respond to hesitation, it responds to intention. When you stop treating your dream like an option and start treating it like an obligation, everything changes. When you go all in, distractions lose their power because they can't compete with a made-up mind. The reason most people stay stuck is not because they don't have what it takes, it's because they never fully decide. Decision is the doorway to direction. If you truly want to cut out the noise, you have to decide what deserves your attention and what doesn't. You have to train your mind to ignore what doesn't serve your purpose. Not everything that calls you deserves an answer. The world will always have something to say, but you don't have to listen. The people who make the biggest impact are not the ones who hear everything. They're the ones who focus on one thing and do it with excellence. Focus is not about narrowing your world. It's about magnifying your impact. When your attention is scattered, your energy is scattered. When your attention is focused, your energy is amplified. Every great achievement in history came from someone who learned how to tune out the noise and listen to purpose. Your breakthrough won't come from doing more. It will come from focusing better. The truth is, life doesn't get quieter. You just get stronger. The noise doesn't go away. Your focus gets sharper. Once you understand that, you stop waiting for peace to appear and start creating it within yourself. Because when you control your focus, you control your future. You can't live your best life if your mind is always divided. Every day, something is fighting for your attention. Notifications, opinions, comparisons, expectations, they're all demanding your focus. And the truth is, the more you let in, the less room there is for what truly matters. Most people are not tired because they're working too hard. They're tired because they're distracted too much. Their energy isn't being spent on progress. It's being wasted on noise. You can't hear your purpose clearly when you're tuned into everything else. The greatest power you have is the power to decide what gets your attention and what doesn't. There comes a time when you have to stop reacting to everything around you and start responding to what's within you. Focus is not found in chaos, it's built in quiet conviction. It's the discipline of saying no to almost everything so you can say yes to the one thing that actually moves your life forward. You can't chase every idea, every opportunity, every trend and still expect to grow with direction. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones doing everything. They're the ones doing the right thing long enough to see results. Consistency builds clarity, and clarity builds confidence. Most people think their biggest challenge is lack of time, but it's really lack of focus. Time is not the problem, attention is. You can waste an entire day doing things that don't matter and still feel busy. But business is not the same as progress. Being productive doesn't mean being purposeful. Productivity can fill your schedule, but purpose fills your soul. When you operate from purpose, you stop measuring your day by how much you did and start measuring it by how much it mattered. Every decision, every conversation, every action becomes intentional instead of impulsive. The world is loud because the world is lost. Everyone is shouting, but few are listening. You don't need to match the noise. You need to master your peace. When you know who you are and what you're called to do, you stop competing and start creating. You don't have to outshout others. You just have to outfocus them. Clarity will always outperform confusion. The reason some people seem unstoppable is not because they have more talent. It's because they have fewer distractions. They've made a decision to tune out everything that doesn't align with their destiny. That's what separates those who make progress from those who make excuses. And here's what most people miss. The battle for focus is spiritual as much as it is mental. You can't fight noise with more noise. You fight noise with stillness. You fight confusion with clarity. You fight distraction with discipline. The more you grow, the more distractions will come disguised as opportunities. Just because it looks good doesn't mean it's good for you. Every yes costs you something. When you say yes to the wrong thing, you're saying no to the right thing without realizing it. Your purpose is too valuable to be sold for temporary attention. Protect it. Guard it. Honor it. Your peace is the soil where your purpose grows. If you keep letting toxic thoughts, negative voices, and unnecessary opinions plant themselves in your mind, you'll never grow the life you were meant to live. Protect your peace like your success depends on it, because it does. Peace gives you the clarity to make the right decisions. It gives you the strength to keep going when life gets loud. When your peace is stable, distractions lose their power. You can't stop the noise from coming, but you can stop it from entering. Not every invitation deserves a response. Not every argument deserves a reaction, and not every thought deserves your attention. If you're going to focus on what really matters, you need the courage to disconnect from validation, from approval, from trying to keep up. You don't need everyone to understand your path because your vision wasn't meant for everyone's eyes. Focus requires faith, the faith to believe that what you're building in silence will speak louder than anything you could say out loud. Sometimes focus looks like walking away. Sometimes it looks like turning your phone off. Sometimes it looks like sitting alone long enough to hear your own thoughts again. The world calls that isolation, but winners call it preparation. Focus isn't about shutting the world out forever. It's about knowing when to shut it out so you can strengthen what's inside you. When you're truly focused, you don't chase validation, you create value. You stop needing to be seen and start needing to make an impact. You stop trying to impress people who aren't even paying attention and start impressing yourself by being consistent. Because every time you focus, you grow. Every time you say no to distraction, you say yes to destiny. Every time you choose peace over noise, you move closer to purpose. You don't find focus, you build it one decision at a time. You build it when you choose patience over panic. You build it when you choose purpose over pressure. You build it when you stop reacting to life and start leading it. Focus is not a skill, it's a standard. It's a way of living that says, I refuse to let noise dictate my direction. Because when you master your focus, you master your future. The reason most people never reach their potential isn't because they don't have enough talent. It's because they don't have enough focus. Every single day, something is trying to pull you away from what matters. There's always another opinion, another headline, another distraction dressed up as an opportunity. You can't move forward if you're constantly reacting to the world around you instead of responding to the purpose within you. The more you listen to noise, the less you hear your own calling. The more you compare yourself to others, the more you disconnect from your own assignment. You weren't designed to do everything. You were designed to do something with excellence. When your attention is scattered, your power is divided. The world has convinced people that multitasking is strength, but it's actually the slowest way to lose your focus. You can't give 100% to anything when your mind is in 100 different places. The secret to true success is not doing more. It's doing less, but doing it with total commitment. If you're halfway, and you'll always get halfway results. People keep wondering why their dreams don't work, but the truth is, Dreams don't work until you do. Focus gives your effort direction. Without direction, all your energy leaks into things that don't move you forward. Focus starts when you stop chasing everything and start building something. Too many people spend their lives jumping from idea to idea, never realizing that mastery requires monotony. The path to greatness is repetitive. It's the daily decision to show up when you don't feel like it, to do what others won't do, and to stay when others walk away. The reason most people don't grow is because they confuse excitement with progress. They love the beginning of things, but never stay long enough to see the reward of consistency. You don't need a new goal. You need renewed commitment to the goal you already have. The mind is like a muscle. It strengthens with discipline. Every time you resist distraction, you build the muscle of focus. Every time you choose purpose over pleasure, you become sharper. It's not easy to ignore the noise because the noise is constant. Everyone has something to say, and most of them want your attention more than your success. If you don't set boundaries, the world will use you as a dumping ground for its opinions. You have to protect your mind like it's your mansion. Not every guest deserves to enter. When you allow negativity, gossip, and comparison to take residence, they rob you of peace and purpose. Peace is not found in silence, it's found in selection. You have to select what deserves your energy. You have to decide what deserves your attention. Focus is a matter of priorities, not possibilities. You can do many things, but that doesn't mean you should. Just because you're capable of something doesn't mean it's your calling. The enemy of your best is not your worst. It's the good that distracts you from greatness. You must be ruthless with your time and generous with your purpose. Every yes should be a strategic yes. Every no should be a protective no. When you start focusing on what really matters, you'll notice that people will question your choices. They'll say you've changed, you become distant, or that you're too serious. But they don't understand you're not distancing yourself from them. You're getting closer to your destiny. The more you grow, the quieter your circle becomes. And that's not loss, that's alignment. Some people were meant to be part of your history, not your destiny. You can't carry everyone with you, and you can't explain everything you're doing to everyone. Focus requires separation, and separation often feels like isolation. But isolation is where transformation happens. The most dangerous noise is not the noise around you, it's the noise within you. The constant questioning, the self-doubt, the fear of not being enough. You can't fight those thoughts by trying to silence them. You overcome them by replacing them. Replace doubt with discipline, fear with faith, confusion with clarity. Every time you focus on what's true instead of what's trending, you regain power. You can't afford to let every emotion drive you. Feelings change, but purpose doesn't. Stay grounded in what you're called to do, even when it doesn't look like it's working. Focus is faith in motion. It's believing that what you're doing now is preparing you for what's next. Most people want clarity before commitment, but clarity comes after commitment. You don't get direction standing still. You get it when you move with purpose. When you focus long enough, things that once seemed confusing start to make sense. Patterns form, progress happens, and what once felt impossible starts to feel inevitable. Distraction delays destiny, but focus accelerates it. You don't need more time, you need more intention. You don't need new opportunities, you need new levels of focus on the opportunities already in your hands. If you want to rise above the noise, you have to live by design, not by default. You have to choose your focus daily because the world will always try to choose it for you. Focus is not a one-time decision, it's a continuous discipline. The moment you stop guarding it, the noise sneaks back in. But the more you protect your focus, the stronger it becomes. And soon, what once distracted you won't even move you. That's when you know you've grown. When peace becomes your normal and clarity becomes your compass. Belief is the foundation of every breakthrough. Before you can build anything on the outside, you have to believe something on the inside. Most people want results without belief, success without certainty, progress without confidence. But that's not how transformation works. The world around you will always mirror the world within you. If you see lack inside, you'll find limitation outside. If you see purpose inside, you'll find opportunity outside. What you believe about yourself sets the boundary for what you can achieve. The problem is not that life is holding people back, it's that disbelief is. You can't outperform the picture you have of yourself. Every great achievement begins with a decision to believe when there's no evidence yet. Belief doesn't wait for proof. Belief creates proof. It's easy to have faith when everything makes sense, but real faith shows up when nothing does. Most people want certainty before commitment, but it works the other way around. You commit, and then the certainty comes. You move, and then clarity follows. Belief is the bridge between who you are and who you can become. Without it, you stay stuck at the starting line, waiting for a feeling that never arrives. Your mind is the soil of your future. Every thought you plant grows into something. If you plant doubt, you'll harvest delay. If you plant faith, you'll harvest favor. The seeds of your thoughts will always produce fruit in your actions. The reason some people can't see progress isn't because they lack ability. It's because they keep watering the wrong ideas. You can't think failure and live victory. You can't feed fear and expect freedom. You have to renew your mind daily because the world will constantly try to convince you that you're not enough, not ready, not capable. But the truth is, your potential was placed inside you long before your problem showed up. There's power in what you say to yourself. Words are not just sounds, they are seeds. Every time you speak, you're shaping your future. When you say you can't, your mind starts collecting evidence to agree with you. When you say you can, your mind starts finding ways to make it happen. The conversation you have with yourself is more important than the conversations you have with anyone else. You can't speak defeat and expect to live in victory. You can't keep rehearsing what's wrong and expect to create what's right. You have to talk yourself into your next level before you ever walk into it. Belief doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means refusing to be limited by it. Everyone can see what's happening, but not everyone can see what's possible. When you live by sight, you accept what is. When you live by belief, you create what can be. Some of the most successful people in the world started with nothing but belief. They didn't have money, resources, or credentials, but they had faith. Faith gave them the courage to act when others hesitated. You can have all the strategy in the world, but without belief, strategy won't matter. Action without belief is empty motion. Belief gives meaning to movement. People will try to project their fears onto you. They'll tell you what can't be done, what's too hard, what's unrealistic. But that's because they're looking at your life through the limits of their own experience. Don't let someone's small vision shrink yours. When you believe in yourself, you give others permission to believe in themselves. Your confidence can be contagious, just like your doubt can be. Every time you choose belief over fear, you shift the atmosphere around you. You begin to attract opportunities that match your mindset. You can't build a life of abundance with a mindset of scarcity. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you're prepared to handle. Belief prepares you. It shapes your actions, your habits, and your identity. Once you start to see yourself differently, you start to show up differently, you start walking like someone who belongs in the room instead of someone who's trying to prove they do. You stop asking for permission and start taking responsibility. That's the power of belief. It transforms you before it transforms your circumstances. There will always be moments when your belief is tested. Life will challenge you. Situations will stretch you and failure will try to define you. But every obstacle is an opportunity to strengthen your faith. Every setback is a setup for greater growth. Belief doesn't eliminate struggle. It gives you strength through it. When you know who you are, temporary problems don't shake permanent purpose. You stop reacting to difficulty and start responding with determination. The difference between those who make it and those who don't is not intelligence, luck, or connections, it's belief. The ones who win are the ones who refuse to let go of faith, even when it looks foolish to keep going. They hold on when others quit. They trust when others doubt. They focus when others fold. Belief turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers, because when you believe deeply enough, the impossible starts to move out of your way. Peace is not a luxury, it's a necessity. You can't build anything meaningful in chaos. You can't create, think, or lead if your mind is cluttered. The reason so many people feel stuck is not because they lack opportunity, but because their peace is constantly under attack. Peace is what gives you clarity, strength, and direction. When your peace is gone, your power is gone. Protecting your peace is not a soft skill, it's a survival skill. The world will always try to keep you busy, distracted, and reactive, but if you don't protect your inner calm, the noise will run your life. Peace doesn't mean the absence of problems. It means the presence of stability in the middle of them. You can't control everything that happens, but you can control how you respond. The person who controls their emotions controls their environment. When you allow every opinion, every comment, every setback to disturb your spirit, you hand over your authority. You become a puppet to chaos instead of the author of your own peace. Protecting your peace means deciding what deserves your energy and what doesn't. Some things don't deserve a reaction. Some people don't deserve an explanation. Some situations don't deserve to be revisited. You can't keep your peace if you keep opening doors that God already closed. You can't stay calm if you keep entertaining what drains you. Every time you choose peace over petness, you strengthen your power. You have to learn to walk away from anything that threatens your clarity. Not everything that demands your attention deserves your time. Peace is expensive, and you can't afford to keep trading it for approval. Some people won't like your boundaries, but boundaries are not walls. They're fences that protect what's valuable. You don't have to argue to prove your worth. You don't have to fight to keep your peace. Silence can be stronger than explanation. You can't expect peace from a life that's filled with noise. Every notification, every distraction, every negative conversation chips away at your focus. Your mind needs quiet to create clarity. That's why you have to build moments of stillness into your schedule. Stillness doesn't mean doing nothing. It means reconnecting with purpose. When you take time to reset, you stop living by reaction and start living by intention. The reason most people feel overwhelmed is because they're always connected to something external and disconnected from something internal. You can't hear wisdom if you never step away from noise. Protecting your peace also means protecting your perspective. Life will always present problems, but how you see them determines how you handle them. When you carry peace inside, you can walk through storms without being shaken. You start seeing challenges as opportunities, not interruptions. You stop letting temporary emotions dictate permanent decisions. Peace gives you the patience to wait for what's right instead of settling for what's easy. The person who masters peace masters progress. You can't be productive in confusion. Confusion comes when you try to control everything. The truth is, some things are not your responsibility to fix. You're not called to carry every weight, fight every battle, or prove every point. You can release what's not yours to hold. Letting go is not losing, it's making space for clarity. When you stop trying to manage everyone else's expectations, you start managing your own energy. Peace is not about perfection, it's about alignment. When your thoughts, words, and actions agree with your purpose, peace becomes natural. Protecting your peace will require saying no to people, projects, and places that no longer match your growth. Some connections were good for a season, but toxic for your future. The more you grow, the more peace will become your filter. Anything that costs you your peace costs too much. You can't elevate while entertaining environments that pull you down. The higher you rise, the quieter it must become. Every new level of growth requires a new level of silence. Peace also creates power in how you lead yourself and others. People can feel when you're grounded. They can sense when your spirit is calm and focused. You don't have to shout when your presence carries authority. Peace amplifies your impact because it allows you to think clearly, act wisely, and move intentionally. When your emotions are stable, your execution becomes stronger. You can't make great decisions in emotional storms. Peace gives you the space to see truth without distortion. Your peace is your foundation. If the foundation is weak, everything built on it will crumble. That's why protecting it should be your top priority. You have to treat peace like it's your profit. Guard it, invest in it, defend it. Stop allowing people who bring confusion to have unlimited access to your energy. Protecting your peace doesn't make you distant. It makes you disciplined. It doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about your purpose enough not to let noise distract you. When you move from chaos to calm, you don't lose energy, you gain clarity. And clarity is the beginning of every breakthrough. Clarity is not something you find by accident. It's something you create through commitment. Most people are waiting for things to make sense before they fully commit. But the truth is, nothing becomes clear until you decide to stay consistent. You can't expect results from something you only give half of yourself to. You can't expect your vision to grow when your attention keeps shifting. The reason clarity escapes most people is because they never stay long enough to master anything. They start, stop, restart, and wonder why their life feels like a loop instead of a ladder. Commitment breaks the loop. Focus consistency is what transforms confusion into clarity. When you commit completely, you cut off the option of retreat. You tell yourself that no matter how hard it gets, you're not backing down. Most people think they need motivation, but what they really need is decision. Once you decide that quitting is not an option, your mind starts finding solutions instead of excuses. Clarity comes when you burn the bridges that lead back to comfort. As long as you have a backup plan, your focus will always be divided. You can't build something extraordinary with a part-time commitment. You have to go all in before life goes all out. Commitment forces growth. When you're all in, your potential gets activated. You start tapping into levels of creativity, strength, and discipline that you didn't know you had, but you'll never experience that if you're still waiting for everything to feel perfect. Growth never feels comfortable because clarity doesn't live in comfort zones. It lives in decisions that stretch you. When you commit to your purpose, distractions lose their grip. You stop asking, what if it doesn't work, and start declaring, I'll make it work. That shift in mindset changes everything because what you focus on expands. The reason clarity hides from some people is because they treat their goals like hobbies. You can't get crystal clear results from a cloudy commitment. If your effort is inconsistent, your outcome will always be unpredictable. Success is not built on intensity, it's built on consistency. You don't have to do everything perfectly. You just have to show up every day with purpose. The clearer your commitment, the quieter your confusion. Every time you decide to keep going when others quit, you train your mind to trust yourself. Confidence is built in consistency, not in comfort. Most people never get clarity because they quit right before it comes. They stop when things get difficult, thinking the difficulty means they're doing something wrong. But difficulty is a sign that you're in the process of refinement. The fog clears when you keep walking through it. You can't stand still and expect visibility to improve. Every step you take reveals the next one. Life gives direction to the committed, not the curious. When you commit, the path unfolds one decision at a time. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to keep climbing. Commitment also demands alignment. You can't say you're committed to growth and keep feeding distractions. You can't claim to want clarity while living in contradiction. Your words, thoughts, and actions must match your goals. Every inconsistency in your behavior creates noise in your direction. You have to align your habits with your vision. You can't move in clarity with divided energy. You can't focus on purpose in public and feed procrastination in private. True clarity requires congruence between what you say you want and what you actually do. There's a difference between interest and commitment. Interest says, I'll do it when it's convenient. Commitment says, I'll do it because it's necessary. Interest is fueled by emotion. Commitment is fueled by conviction. When you operate from conviction, you don't need everything to feel right. You just need to know it is right. Emotion fades, but commitment sustains. That's why some people rise while others remain. The ones who rise don't have easier paths. They just have stronger decisions. They stay when it's uncomfortable, push when it's unclear, and trust that the process is producing something even when they can't see it yet. Clarity isn't about knowing everything. It's about knowing enough to take the next step with confidence. When you commit to a vision, you start seeing opportunities that were invisible before. The reason they appear is because focus reveals what distraction hides. Your mind can't process purpose when it's split between fear and faith. Commitment silences that conflict. It allows you to see direction where others only see difficulty. When you're all in, even setbacks become signs, even obstacles become lessons, and even delays become preparation. Clarity is the reward of consistency. The longer you stay committed, the clearer the picture becomes. When you fully give yourself to something, confusion fades because purpose takes over. You stop second guessing yourself and start trusting the process. Commitment is not about speed. It's about staying power. It's not about getting there fast. It's about refusing to stop until you arrive. The moment you decide that you're not leaving until you see results, everything inside you aligns with that decision. Clarity shows up for those who stay. Because once you commit completely, your mind, your energy, and your direction begin to move in harmony toward the future you were meant to create. If you want to cut out the noise, you've got to tune into purpose. You've got to turn down opinions, turn off fear, and turn up faith. Because when your focus aligns with your purpose, your life becomes unstoppable. Every day, remind yourself, I'm not chasing everything. I'm pursuing what matters. Because when you know what matters most, the noise doesn't stand a chance.